Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
I'm Jonathan Federa. I'm here to inspire you to hustle and grow your income while doing what you love. Just because you have problems doesn't mean you can't prosper. Just because you have tragedy doesn't mean you can't triumph. Actually, you should be taking advantage of that.
There's positivity in my pain. I took scarcity and turned it into strength. I always tell life, there's not much you can do to me where I won't make an obstacle an opportunity. We never lose, we only learn lessons. If you wanna change your perspective. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how right now. Cause it's about to go down. You are tuning in to creating success out of failure. Creating success creating success out of failure. Out of failure.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Creating Success Out of Failure. I am here with my lovely co-host Jessica and our guest Scott Simons. Scott is in ROTA with me, and he owns and operates 7 dealerships. He's one of the most successful and smart guys I know, and he's just one of the best humans you could get to know as well. So, Scott, I want you to tell us a little bit about your general day, and then we're going to get into some of the, hardships and things that you faced in your life and how you got through them.
Sure. First of all, Jonathan and Jessica, thank you so much for having me on. I've gotten to know both of you through RTA and then Jessica through Apex, and I just, admire and respect both of you a lot. And Jonathan, obviously, we've got some fitness facilities going on in Florida, so yes, we're not only good friends, but we're business partners, which is, a byproduct of joining these groups, like Apex and Arte. So I'm a proud member of both. Those are my brothers and sisters. So it's just a real honor for y'all to ask me to be on here. Thank you so very much. I will admit, I did not know this was video. So I did just get through playing racquetball. My hair is a mess. I have no makeup on, so I'm a hot mess right now. But hey, you're seeing me raw and real. So this is how we're going to go with it. But
we like to be authentic on this podcast. So part of the reason we started it right is because we want to hear what people's authentic journeys are. So I think this is perfect for that purpose.
I mean, my shirt matches your hair. I mean, come on, And then I do have some sky blue pants on, but now I'm wearing shorts. So they call it my cotton candy outfit. So the guys seem to like it. I don't know. I wear it hoping the ladies will like it, but the guys seem to like it. So wrong message. So anyway, but no, thank you for having me on. We're going to have a lot of fun.
It's definitely our pleasure.
Yeah. So take you through a typical day. So I'll take you through today. I got up at 4 a.m. this morning. I'm prepared from about 4:15 to 4:45 to moderate Clubhouse. So I'm a moderator and co-host and co-creator of Breakfast with Champions. My responsibility is I have the shitty shift. No, I'm kidding. I have the 5 a.m. to the 5 a.m. to 5:30. And then Glenn Lundy's show comes on, Rise and Grind, from 5:30 to 6. And then we come back and recap his show. Brian Hess has Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the reason why we had the 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time shift is no one else would take it. So that's how I got on the show. From there, I typically either get on a Peloton or I go work out, have breakfast with my family, head to the car dealerships. So I'm the general manager, managing partner with currently there's 5 car dealerships here in Stanton. We have other locations. We actually can't announce yet, but we have 15 throughout the state of Virginia, and we are currently in the process of purchasing more. We have about 700 employees. We're an ESOP, so we have an employee stock option plan, and our company has been around since 1924. So we share 10% of our net profit every year with our employees, and they own 26% of our company. From there, I operate the car dealerships. In the late afternoon, I go play racquetball. And then I head home and eat dinner with my family. And then in my spare time in the evenings, I work on the other investments and business opportunities that I've been provided. I part own about 20 different businesses besides the car dealerships. I'm either a partner, an investor, anything I can legally make money on. So So that's what I do. But I live a dream life. To me, it's really busy. I wouldn't have it any other way. I have problems relaxing. I really can't relax. So if you say, Scott, let's go chill on the beach, I'm not going to be very fun to hang out with. I don't fish. I don't hunt. I just work and work out and spend time with my family and my Apex and Arte family. So that's a typical day for me.
How strict do you follow that schedule, Scott? And there's a reason I asked you your typical day.
It's Groundhog Day. Like, that is my comfort zone. When I travel, which I travel with Apex, obviously with Arte, with like I'm about ready to take off and go to Vegas next week for a Nissan meeting. So with these franchises, they have meetings now with COVID backing off, which now there's some whatever variant they're saying it's coming back out. So we're probably shutting part of the country back down. But I do travel quite a bit. My comfort zone and what I love is, and I don't want to sound thankful, but is that routine I just gave you. Like, I thoroughly enjoy that routine. It's just what I do. It's like Groundhog Day. I just get up and do all over again. And when I get off of that, I'm not as dialed in. So, that's what I do every single day, but I love what I do. I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't feel like that I'm working. And I love the challenge. Every day is different. I walk into the dealership wanting to accomplish these things, and whack, I get smacked in the face in a pivot. And, you can have a customer issue. I have about 180 employees that I directly manage. I have an open door policy. So there's a chair over to my left. It's called the crying chair. There's a lot of tears in that chair because when you have an open door policy, you have an open door policy. So they can come in and talk to me about anything. And I try to do life with them. I try to be much more than just a leader. I try to be a friend and a mentor. And it's crazy a lot of times, but I wouldn't have it any other way, Jonathan.
I feel like that's such a beautiful sentiment. For me, I would be so derailed if I was allowing my staff to keep coming in and interrupting me, because the way I work is super linear. And I like to do things in like spurts of like, and if I have 2 hours, I'm going to get a lot done in that 2 hours. So how do you manage your time with this open door policy in effect?
Okay. A couple rules to the open door. They can't come in and talk about another employee because I will bring in that other employee. So if the other employee has not done anything illegal to them, I'm going to go and say, hey, Jessica, did you talk to Jonathan first? If this has something to do with work, did you talk to Jonathan first? If you've got a complaint, just a general complaint on how we could do things better, come with a solution. You can't just come with a complaint. Also know that I might just, if you ask for my advice, I'm going to hit you right in between the eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pull any punches, because once you come in and you allow me in your personal life, I'm going to sit and say, hey, what are you thinking? I mentor about 25 of my at-risk employees. I've literally, it's a crazy story, but through that mentorship, I literally had an employee that went through a lot. And I don't really, it's a long story, but he went through a lot, more than most humans could bear. And his daughter he raised was not his biological, but he raised her. She was murdered. The mother of the child got back with her ex-husband at the funeral, kicked him out. He basically threw his life upside down. He went and bought a bunch of stuff trying to grieve. And through that process, he lost himself. He came in and said he's quitting. And I knew this guy is like a good looking guy, very awesome. And I said, wait a minute, whoa, why are you quitting? Where are you going? He said, I'm starting all over. And I knew he was probably having money problems because he wasn't selling anything, because he was just so distraught. So after talking to him, it didn't make sense what he told me he was going to do. And I said, hey, man, this don't sound right to me. I'm not accepting your resignation. I don't know if this has to do with money, but here's $2,000. I'm not accepting your resignation. I'm not accepting that money. Go home and come back and talk to me tomorrow. And if you quit tomorrow, I'll accept your resignation, but I'm not taking the $2,000 back. He left crying, came back the next morning and said, thank you. 6 months later, not then, 6 months later, through my mentorship, when some people weren't taking my time serious, I asked them what their credit rating was, and then asked them to pull their credit. So what's your credit rating, Jessica and Jonathan? Next, I'm writing it down. Next meeting, go to free credit report, pull your credit. Let's see how close you do. And I was teaching them how to read credit bureaus and how important your credit is. Well, half the 20 or 25 people didn't do the exercise. This guy stood up and said, listen, take this man's time. He's volunteering. Y'all need to take his time and respect him. And let me explain, if it wasn't for that man, I wouldn't be here today. And they were like, what do you mean? He said, I put a noose in my closet, went to hang myself, and I couldn't do it because I owe that man so much. I had to go tell him bye. And that man would not accept my resignation. And because he didn't accept my resignation, I couldn't go home and hang myself. And he came in later, wrote me a personal letter, gave me a Superman shirt, and handed me the noose. And actually the noose is in a box right beside my desk to remind me what a difference you can make in people's lives. So that's, a story from mentoring my staff, that by pouring into your people and getting to know them personally, you literally could save someone's life. And that's the difference when you make that. No matter how much of it's an inconvenience, that story alone, I know that it's the right thing to do. And trust me, there's days I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't believe we're talking about this. But that one story I just told makes me take anybody coming in and wanting to talk to me. Now, it was at first, it was quite often. Now it's less and less, because obviously I'm not going to sit and allow them just to complain. And I'm gonna tell them how I feel.
Yeah, I like the
So,
boundaries that you set with that, because it allows them to come and be open with you, but not just bitch and complain, which it could so easily devolve into.
trust me. And I'm able to tell them, we have a 1-800 number that any of our employees could call anonymously at any time and report theft, discrimination, bullying, harassment, you call it, it's anonymous. And since we've been here in 2010, not a single person that works for me has ever called that number.
That's
ever.
amazing.
Yeah. Now that's shocking, right? Because no matter, even if you do everything right, someone could still call that number. And I would say that I'm really proud of that fact. And I'm a player's coach. When I walk into one of the dealerships, I'm always upbeat. I could be having a terrible, I could be in a really bad mood, but it's showtime. Once they walk in that door, I smile, and I got to be, they're looking at me. I mean, we went through a lot. I mean, we all have over this last 2 years. I mean, COVID, Lord. I mean, it was, when we're all type A personalities, we're in control, right? And we were out of control at that point. We could not control what was happening. And that was a terribly difficult time. And I had to stay cool, calm, and collected because they're looking at me. And when I go out in that showroom, I'm a knuckle bumper. I shake their hand. I hug them if they're a hugger. Some people aren't cool with that. My technicians most definitely. Plus, they're kind of, they get real dirty. I don't want to, but they're not like that. But when I walk through somewhere, I'm going to speak to everybody that I come in contact with. It's just, my mom's Italian, and that's how, we were raised to speak to people. So no, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge running car dealerships, but I thoroughly enjoy it. I really do.
I could tell. And the reason I asked that question about the open door policy is because you seem like you have a routine going on. And it kind of surprised me that you'd be so flexible to let someone kind of interrupt your flow. But I get it after you said that story is really touching, obviously, and powerful.
Yeah, that one story makes it worth it. No matter how inconvenient it is, I've got to remember they're humans. Now, I push them. I absolutely push them. I truly believe that if I want what's best for them, I need to push them out of their comfort zone. And I do that. And I play mind tricks with them. And some people are motivated by getting a swift kick in the pants, respectfully. Some people I need to coddle, I need to see where they're at. When people are really down, I don't need to kick them. I don't need to push them. I need to tell them, hey, Jessica, it's okay. You're just going through a little bit. Let's talk about what your daily work plan is. And then, hey, there's times where, hey, I know you did okay, but you could do more, right? You could have made some more phone calls. But it's a challenge. Every single day we show up, and in this industry, we don't know we don't know, what it's commission based. It's a highly competitive business. There's a lot of challenges to it, but I enjoy it. So
how did you stumble into this business? Because, well, obviously the business predates you. It's 1920
Yep.
something, you said.
Yeah,
So
1924. Yeah, I started a couple years after we got going. Not just kidding. Um,
you
so
look good.
yeah, thank you, thank you. So yeah, it's a lot of Botox. No, I'm just kidding. When I started, I'm from McDowell County, West Virginia, which it's an awesome place, but it is the poorest county in the United States of America. We didn't grow up poor. We grew up probably lower to middle class. My dad worked 5 jobs in the summer. My mom worked, and I was a brother and myself. And I can tell you stories about growing up that you simply would not believe. You would not believe it. We lived in our aunt's house. My mom was one of 9. My dad was one of 9. So apparently in Southern West Virginia, you worked in the coal mines and just had a lot of babies. But anyway, so I had, we grew up in the house that my mom was actually born in, and she had a twin, and we lived with my aunt. We called her Grandma Aunt Mary. Grandma Aunt Mary never married, never had a driver's license. She helped raise her 8 siblings. Then she helped raise my brother and I. So my dad had an in-house babysitter while they both worked. She would take care of us during the day and then go walk to a grocery store at night. And that her whole life was serving others. Well, growing up, they're like, "Is that your grandma?" I'm like, "Well, it's my grandma Aunt Mary." Kids, they're pretty mean. They're like, "Well, why does she live with y'all? Why don't you have your own house?" Well, my dad saved up enough money to go buy our own house. When we sold my aunt's house in the 90s, we sold it for less than $10,000. So that just shows you how the economics of the area. So my dad bought a house. I'm like, "Cool, we get our own house." He immediately, the house was paid for, moved in 2 families at both ends, and we lived in the middle. So we had renters on both ends, and the house was paid for. Well, I'm like, this is worse than where we just came from, because at least it was Grandma Aunt Mary. She'd make us food. Here, it was these 2 strange people living on both ends of our house. So my dad bought like a celebrity for $300, took it to the Vogue store and had them fix it. My dad never made more than $32,000 a year in one job. And he paid for my college, paid for everything for me, but he pushed us. I mean, if you brought a bee home, you might have got your butt whooped. We had to do paper routes. We had to both get jobs at very young ages. I mean, he taught us work ethic, and so did my mom. But everything my dad and mom did, they did it for us. And to answer your question about why I got in the car industry, I saw these people driving new cars. And of course, we had this old celebrity with Bondo hanging out of it. I'm like, how are these people driving these brand new Cadillacs and stuff? Like, they sell cars. And I'm like, man, they got nice clothes on. They sell cars. Man, I want to drive nice cars. So I got my 4-year degree in 2.5 years. I started taking college courses in 10th grade. I worked full time. I got my MBA in a year and a half. So I did 6 years worth of school in 4, and then went and started learning how to read credit bureaus, and then went to sell cars. And my dad and mom were like, "You got a master's degree. You didn't have to go through all that school to go sell cars. You could have done that right out of high school." And I said, "That's true." I said, "But no one could ever take my education away. My brother's a doctor. I wasn't smart enough. I'm not a good test taker. If you check my IQ, it's not very high. But I'm stubborn as hell, and I won't quit. I simply won't quit. You'd have to kill me first." So I got into selling cars, and I had a dream of owning a car dealership. And the likelihood of being a first generation car dealer, you have a better likelihood of being a pro athlete than there is of being a first generation car dealer. So through blood, sweat, and tears, almost having mental breakdowns, having a heart attack in the showroom, gaining weight. I got big as a blimp. My health wasn't worth a crap. I was a terrible human. I was a shitty father. I was a shitty husband. And I was getting close to my goal, but I was failing at everything else in life. I lost who I was trying to get this goal. And I was determined I was going to get there, even if I had to die on that showroom floor. And luckily I didn't. And my wife woke me up. I went to ER about 15 years ago, 33 years old, and my blood pressure was through the roof. And they said, "If you don't make changes, you're going to die." My wife looked at me and goes, "You've done well financially, but if you don't do something, and you die." My daughter was a couple years old. She said, "My new husband, which I will find a new husband, will walk your daughter down the aisle. How do you feel about that?" And I got really pissed off, really mad. And once I realized what she was trying to do, I met my wife when she was 15. I was 17. She had all her teeth, and she wasn't my cousin, and that's a big thing in Southern West Virginia. So I was like, man, I gotta marry that girl. So she was good looking, So anyway, so we've been dating. I could say that because I'm from there.
Oh my
So, you
God.
know, yeah, so we've been dating or married ever since then. I'm 48 years old, so she truly cared about me. And you know what? That one thing, the lowest point of my life is when a light switch turned on and I tell you, the biggest shift I made was I started caring about others more than I cared about myself. I only cared about that goal that I lost who I was. I lost, I was a horrible human being. I was winning in life, in business, but I was failing in everything. I was not a good friend. Like I would literally get off work. I would grab a 40 ounce and drink it. And I only lived 10 minutes from home. And I was so miserable with where I worked and who I was because I just didn't want to give up on my goal. And I did not I did not work in a good work environment. I worked for not a nice man. And I turned into just an animal, a savage animal. And I would drink a 40 in 10 minutes before I get home. My wife said, "How was work?" I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. So, I mean, you can imagine what type of relationship that was being married to when your spouse don't even want to talk about work because I didn't want to go back and relive it. That's how
Yeah.
miserable of a human I was. And luckily, God spared me. And I mean, I don't profess, being a Christian a lot. I'd rather live like a Christian and be a good person than profess being a Christian. So, I was given an opportunity, and from that opportunity, I really try to help other people. And I think that's what people would say. What I want to be remembered as is if you have one phone call, only one phone call to make, I want that phone call to be to me. No matter what you need, no matter what's going on, if you call me and I can help you, I promise you I will help you. And I made that promise when I was spared. And I try to live by that. And I think if you meet anybody, they'll say, you know what, that's Scott. He may be crazy, and he will. If you have one phone call and you call me, if I could help you, I promise you I'll help.
That's 100% accurate. From personal experience, that is 100% accurate. So I have a question for you, Scott.
Yeah,
When
buddy.
you were miserable and you needed out of that situation, when that light turned on, how did you work out of that situation? What did you do? Because I feel like so many people today are either stuck in a 9 to 5 or they're in a bad situation where they can't thrive. And it seems like you were busting your ass and you realized that it was not a fit. Take us through that process, please, because I think you're going to help a lot of people.
Well, I had to hit rock bottom. And what I ask people to do is don't wait till that happens. I could have died. And we all have something special. We just have to find what that special part that we have. We all have something unique. God blessed us all with a gift. And we need to show the world what that gift is. And I tell you where I got to the lowest of lows. I was so ashamed of the person that I was that I shaved in the dark. Now, I don't know how low you have to be because I didn't want to see my own face in the mirror. So when I shaved, I literally would shave in the dark and I would cut my face up. And I got in such a dark place, I literally would shave in the dark. And, I've just said, I've got to fight back. And what I did was I started to eat better. I cut back the alcohol. I didn't completely cut it out, but I wasn't grabbing a 40. And I just started saying, I've got to change. I've got to, instead of what's important to me, I had to find out what's important to everybody around me. One thing that we do here is we ask for your 3 personal and 3 professional goals. And we meet with you quarterly about that. And the reason why we do that is it's important to what's important is what's important to you. You know what our mission is. Our mission at Carter Myers Automotive Group, and my mission is to move lives forward. Whether you purchase a vehicle or you work for us, we're going to move your life forward. Well, I got to know what that means to you. And a mistake that I was making was I was managing people based on what was important to me. What's important to me may not be what's important to you. So what we ask is we would ask, what's important to you, Jonathan? What's important to you, Jessica? Okay, well, what's important to me is my children. Okay, I want to make sure my children go to college. Okay, well, put that as your screensaver. That way, when you go to make that phone call and you don't want to call that customer that maybe is a little bit rude or nasty to you, what's important to you? Put it on your screensaver. So, and then we reflect on those goals. That way we manage you based on your goals. Hey, you want them to go to a really good school, right? Right, Jonathan? Okay, so if you hit your goals, you can put this much more money into their college fund. Did you set up their 529? I've got a sales rep right now that's having his first child. Said, you set up your 529, I'm going to make the first donation. I'm going to make the first contribution. And he said, man, that's a brilliant idea. I said, if you start now, it won't be as much money, but start now. So, by finding out what's important to them, I started putting my focus on them and making them the best versions of themselves, which then in essence helped me. But what typically has to happen is either you get rocked by a divorce, you get rocked by business failure, you get rocked by health. And when you get rocked, you get mad. I got mad. I got embarrassed, and then I got mad. And then I wanted to prove all those people that said I was never going to make anything out of myself wrong. And typically that's either a business that's went bad that you don't want that to define you, or say that if you had a divorce, like I'm gonna win just to show that spouse or that person that did that to me. And some people are motivated by a positive. I'm motivated by positive because I've got a second chance, but I'm also motivated. I love to prove people wrong. People, even to this day, when they meet me, they hear my accent and they think that that's uneducated. And I love when people look down their nose at me. And then once they get to know me, they're like, damn, we didn't know you were involved in all this shit. And then it'd be then they're real nice to me, right? But it's amazing to see that happen. And I love surprising people, with that. So I do tap the dark side. I will admit it. I do love, proving people wrong, but taking the focus off me and just hitting rock bottom, man, Jonathan, I had no other choice, man. I had to make changes, and you got to take it incremental. I can't go run a marathon today. I've got to start walking. Like how I started to run more is I walked. I would run until I couldn't run anymore. And then I would walk. Then I would say, okay, this mile took this amount of time. The next mile needs to be faster. So then I would run as far, then I'd walk faster. And then I would start the next mile. So when I run like a 10K, each mile has to beat the mile first. The first mile may be 11 minutes, terrible, 12 minutes, whatever. My next mile is going to be faster. My last mile is the fastest, just trying to prove that time. And so, it took me being rocked to my core. And what I would love to do is wake people up before it gets to that point.
And what advice would you give them? Because I think you say, right, that you hated yourself and that's why you shaved in the dark. But in the moment, did you know that was what was happening? Because I think so many people are doing those things without really taking a beat and saying, why am I doing that? And then that's why it gets to the point where they hit rock bottom, because they don't have any awareness until that last point.
Yeah, I think what we learned from a mentor of ours, Ed Milet, anybody can win at one point in life. Who can win in everything in life, right? You see people that are in great shape, but they don't have a pot to piss in and when to throw it out of. You see some people that are winning in business, but they're horrible people. That was me. I was winning. I was going to will my way to win, but I was not a good human being. And what it takes a tribe that will call your shit out. And when they call you out, you need to understand it's only because they care about you. They're not belittling you. They're saying, hey, Jessica, hey, Jonathan, there's more. There's more. Sure, you're doing okay, but let's set some goals. And I think a lot of people, they don't set specific enough goals. I want to get in better shape. Nah, I want to set this monetary goal. I want to set this financial goal. And I think that we give ourselves too many outs, and we surround ourselves with people that won't tell us the truth. Because you know why? Most people don't want you to pass them. It's like crabs in a bucket, right? When I was in McDowell County, West Virginia, I loved the people there. They taught me a handshake means something. Your word means something. But I knew I had to get out of there, or I would have been a statistic. My wild years were like 13 to 17. I was drag racing, fighting, doing whatever. And luckily, you know, I knew I needed to get out of there and be surrounded with people. And I think that's why we join the groups that we do. We get in there. I mean, sure, we may be a big fish in the ponds that we're at, but get out to that sea and then see where people are truly winning. You know, the Ryan Stewmans, the Sean Whalens, the Danelle Delgados, the Grant Cardones. And then that makes you think, wow, there's so much more to accomplish. And I think that's why when we get in these groups, it pushes us. We've got to step up, right? We got to step up in all aspects of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's how I would answer.
What will you say for like the day one, right? So you have this revelation and you want to change your life. You wake up the next day, and what's the first step? Because I think people have trouble. For me, it was fitness, right? I just got up and I did some kind of fitness, even if it was just a little bit. But what was your thing that you were like, tomorrow when I wake up, this is the first day of my new life, and this is the step that I take today?
What I suggest for people is a lot of people are depressed. They really are. And it's typically from staying up late and worrying about shit that's never going to happen. They worry and worry and worry and worry and worry. So the first thing I would do is start making myself go to bed earlier and then make myself get up earlier. So what I would do is, say if I went to bed at midnight, I would start laying down at 11 and I'd get a book. And you want me to go to sleep, put a book in my hands, and I'm going to sleep immediately because I'm bored to death, right? So I'm going to put the book in my hand. I'm going to set my alarm across so I can't reach over and turn it off. And say if I was typically getting up at 7, I'm going to get up at 6:30. Once I program myself at 6:30, I'm getting 6. You're exactly right. I'm going to find a training partner. You've got to have an accountability partner, because you'll quit on yourself, but you won't quit on somebody else. So find a training partner, find someone in your local community or online that will hold you accountable, coach, mentor, whoever, that will sit and say, hey, are you up? Are you up? Let's go. And if it's somebody that's at that gym waiting on you, you don't want to hear the shit they're going to give you for not showing up. So guess what? You're going to go just so they're not going to rag you. So accountability partner, start going to bed early, start off with activity. Now, encouraging messages. Something that I did not do before. I don't meditate. I'm not smart enough to meditate. And when I go to meditate, I just fall asleep. So I'm not a meditator. I'm not going to act like I'm a meditator. I don't get that meditating stuff. I think I'm too dumb to meditate. But anyway, I think so. I don't meditate. But what I do send out encouraging messages. So like I'll send out a text message or a message to somebody. I am thankful. I do practice gratitude, but I don't stay in there too long, because I think some people can be really thankful and then they get set back on their laurels. Like, the frustrating part about my life is I'm on a never-ending journey to be the best version of me, the person that God envisioned me to be, which is what Ed Milet talks about. I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get there. So it's like I'm a hamster on a wagon wheel. And some people don't like that. Like, I'm never going to be settled. I won't retire. Won't never happen. I can't sit still. I'm most definitely ADHD and all them things, whatever they want to say. So, yeah, but I would just start going to bed earlier and getting up earlier and not staying up late and worrying about stuff, Jessica, that'll never happen. I think that really hurts people. I think it hurts people. It does.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So Scott, this was probably one of the, and I knew this was going to be good just because I know your brother, like I knew you were going to drop some serious bombs and mix in some humor. If somebody wanted, I don't want to say coach, because I don't know, it's too hard and you are way too busy unless you dedicate and you want to do that in the future, and then absolutely people should go to you. But people wanted to find you, people wanted to ask you questions, people wanted to get a car from you because you ship all over and I'm getting cars from you.
Yeah.
Where do they find you?
So I guess because of my age, I don't know, maybe an age thing, but I'm on Facebook. I'm not as active on Instagram. I'm obviously on Clubhouse. You can email me at scottesimons@gmail.com. So my last name has 1 M, so it's Simons. If it was 2 M's, it would be Simmons. But you just reach out through social. I need to create a business page. I'll tell on myself I need to create a business page because I'm at my max friends of Facebook. I have eliminated a lot of negativity on my life. I'll admit this. I've got about 500 people blocked, but I'm at my friend limit at 49.99. By the way, don't ever get to 5,000 friends, because someone cannot send you a friend request once you hit 5,000. So you've always got to go to 49.99. And what I do is I go and find people's accounts are deactivated. I knock them out. I have 800 requests. So once I take the person out that's deactivated, it creates room for people. But I literally have people, I have 800 requests and I'm at my friend limit. So obviously I need to transition to a business page. People have reached out to me and asked, am I going to coach? I don't know. I don't have time right now. I probably will do something in the future. I'm learning a lot through Apex, their programs, through the wonderful coaches they have there. I probably will do something in the future, but I don't half-ass anything. So I want to make sure that if I do go that route, I may start with just a free Facebook group, accountability group, and then go from there. And if people message me, I don't have bots. It does take me a while to get back to you, but I promise I will get back to you. I do part own and run car dealerships. I've shipped. My Arte and Apex brothers and sisters have been so supportive of me. I ship vehicles. Burns bought a TRX. It's a bunch of people have bought vehicles off me, and I'm shipping all over the country, and I sincerely appreciate that. I'm here to help. I also advise people, if they don't buy from me, hey, so would you look at this? I'm helping somebody right now in Apex buy a car in Florida, and they sent me the information. I looked at it, said, get a mechanic to check it out. It's a really good deal. I'd buy it. I'm not even selling it. So, and that's a value that I would add and try to help anybody. I'll help anybody that I can. And if there's any business opportunities, investment opportunities, business opportunities, as you know, we're business partners, which I'm excited about our future. Jessica, you and I are I think all of us are in the Texas land deal, right?
I am.
Yeah. Jonathan, you in that one?
I am not in that one.
Okay. Well, we'll get you in the next one. But so we're all doing business together. I'm about to do a deal with Alvin. I think everybody knows Alvin from Apex. I love Alvin. I've done deals with a lot of our Daryl, on and on and on. So, it's awesome. You could partner with somebody that you like and we could both make money.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sign me up. Let's go. So yeah, no, but I really appreciate y'all having me on. Yeah. I respect and admire both of you so much. And, obviously Jonathan, known you for on Jessica, I'm getting to know you through Apex, and what a wonderful group that is. I'm just proud of being in both those groups. If you said I've been surrounded with all those superhumans when I was 265 pounds, shaving in the dark, in a hospital with nitroglycerin pills, I told you you're crazy as hell. Ain't no way. So, I'm just living life to the fullest every single day, thankful for what I got, but hungry to see what else is out there.
I appreciate you so much coming on and telling your story, because I'm getting to know you, like you said, a little by little. And I saw you last week, and I said, when I got home, I said to Jonathan, how about Scott Simons? Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank y'all so much. And, it's like I said, it's great to get to know Jessica, you better, and Jonathan. You and I communicate quite often, and
almost daily.
If there's anything I could do for anybody, please reach out to me. And I just sincerely appreciate two people that I admire and respect having me on here, and thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, thank you so much, Scott. And if you guys, I'm telling you, follow him. He really is the man, and he's one of the kindest people I know. Follow him. You can learn a lot. If you got something out of this, please share it. Leave a 5-star review. This way we can get in front of more eyes and impact more people. Scott, Jessica, thank you guys so much.
Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
Thanks for tuning in to Creating Success Out of Failure. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it, post it on social media, and leave us a 5-star review. I'll catch you on the next one.
Creating success out of failure.